Finally, we are in the silent breath. During this time, no one goes out unless it is absolutely necessary. Only the firstborns of the Sovereign, Silverblood, Raven, Silverwing, Stormforce and Currentborn clans come out to perform their assigned, non-negotiable duties. Inside the Archivist section, Thoth and I were doing some readings on the Yakshas. They are the massive spiritual deities who live near the boundaries of Hollowgrove, protecting our borders. This moonfall, they are celebrating a wedding. Unlike us, they do not possess a core energy, and the strict rules of Hollowgrove do not apply to them. They rarely interact with us, choosing to speak only with the sovereigns. In the deep moonfall, if you hear sudden, heavy footsteps vibrating through the dark, it means the Yakshas are patrolling the streets. No one should ever cross their path, unless you want to get stomped. The Yakshas have been in Hollowgrove since long before we arrived. We never double-guarded our boundaries until the tragic incident involving Medini's parents. Alongside the Yakshas, they tried to seal a breach in the barosphere, the protective layer surrounding Hollowgrove. They pushed their energy so far that their cores exploded, leaving us to recover only fragments of their bodies. That incident remains a deep scar in our memories. Because of that tragedy, we wanted to ensure nothing of the sort happens during this wedding. The firstborns of the Silverblood and Stormforce clans have taken full responsibility to guard both the streets and the boundaries. While we were reading, the green flame flickered with a soft chime. This is our method of communication, mostly used during the silent and black breaths. Silas, the second-born alchemist of the Darkblood clan, had sent a message. He created a new potion that could stabilize and maintain core energy strength through the latter half of the moon cycles. As a second rank, he had already tested it on himself, but to get accuracy now, he needed a fourth rank, or someone with a much weaker core, for further testing. Fortunately, we had a few test subjects specially made for experiments. They were the tragic results of a bad energy merger. Only the union of golden energies produces healthy, brilliant offspring. However, desperation, ambition, and grief often blind people. Merging brown, white, or green energies only produces children with bizarre abnormalities. Born with incredibly weak cores, they live a miserable, fragile, and wretched life of constant decay. Instead of killing them, we kept them hibernating in our labs for experiments, even creating clones for future use. Silas mentioned that the testing had to happen during these two specific breaths to accurately measure its success rate. After securing permission from the sages, Silas travelled to the lab under a guard's watchful eye. However, he insisted on flying on his broom, a dangerous stunt that got him penalised since we are currently on the 13th ring. The guards even seized his broom until the turning is over.
Can we not respect the fact that I risked my life to travel here for the people of Hollowgrove? How could they take my broom?
Silas said, pouting. At just 120 turnings old, Silas had already reached the second rank through his mastery of potion-making and advanced spellcraft. Yet, despite his incredible power, he possessed a childlike spirit and was always joking around.
Why did you have to show off?
I am stuck at home working all the time. So when I get an opportunity to have some fun, I grab it with all my heart.
Is that why I didn't see you at the tavern 2 tides ago, drinking and dancing with the plumes?
Well, the mind needs rest. Wait! What were you doing at the tavern anyway?
I went there to eat.
You never go to the tavern to eat.
Thoth went completely silent.
My presence always brings new discoveries. How talented am I?
Can we please focus on the potion?
Not until you tell us what you were doing at the tavern, I insisted. Both Silas and I leaned in, eagerly waiting for an answer.
I expect this level of enthusiasm for the potion, not for my love life.
That's it. He said love life. He admitted it.
I admitted nothing.
Don't worry, Silas, I said with a smirk. My investigative skills will find out her name soon enough. Silas nodded with a smug grin, leaving Thoth looking completely betrayed. Silas reached into his robe and pulled out a small glass bottle filled with a dark red potion. He set it down on the table.
Before we begin, I need to warm this up with moonlight. Where can I get some?
In the labs. Let's go. Mounted on a floating platform stood a massive white dome, built specifically to store moonlight. While bakers, alchemists, winemakers and charm makers maintained their own individual storages, this dome was the largest in Hollowgrove, serving as the town's main reserve when extra light was needed. The dome featured a small door that opened into a sequence of 5 consecutive chambers, each representing a stage of purification. To keep the stored moonlight completely pure, no one ever went inside unless the dome was fully emptied for cleansing. Silas held a small luma holder jar near the outer wall, and a small niche slid open. He placed the jar inside, and the niche closed. The jar itself then travelled through the 5 purification stages. After a few moments, the niche reopened, revealing the jar now filled with glowing moonlight. Silas set the jar on the work table and closed his eyes, cupping the glass with both hands. He whispered a spell to warm the liquid light, then carefully emptied the jar into his cauldron through a small opening in the lid. As he stirred the mixture, he chanted another spell, and the liquid began to glow brightly.
Now we are ready. The potion contains 60% blood from the blood moon ritual, burning tree root ashes, insect heads, yolk from snake eggs.
Well, if this is successful, we are the ones who will have to drink it later, so you can skip the ingredients, I interrupted. I will read the recipe in the library, if needed be.
Don't worry, Gemma. I will add bee saliva to make it sweeter for you.
I gagged. Thanks, Silas. That's very kind of you, I said awkwardly. Thoth simply looked away from the glowing potion, refusing to comment. We headed down to the containment wing where the test subjects were kept. Veda, a thirdborn, is in charge of the labs, stood up and greeted us with a respectful bow as we entered.
The subject is ready. Shall we start?
Thoth nodded. The deformed, abnormal child lay quiet on a white examination bed. Silas stepped forward and slowly poured the glowing potion into its mouth.
Now, we must wait a few hours for the results.
We prepared to leave the laboratory while Bodhi stayed behind to keep watch. It is almost moonfall, Silas. You should hurry back home. We will message you the results, I said to him.
No way. The suspense would kill me. I'm going to stay right here, explore your kitchen, and find something to eat. I am starving.
Silas's potion was success. We still observed the subject for half breath. The results were promising, with just one side effect: crying. By the law, the potions, food, wines, or anything are not to be made in dimming and silent breath. So in next year, or I would say first ring of next turning, we will be preparing for better. The subject is still under observation.